Be'ez Hashem, to continue with the teachings of the Magid in Magid Devarav. So this is Magid Devarav, is the entry is Sadik Ches. It's 88, and a similar version of this is found in Dibris Magid, which is a recently published cipher in Biur Chazal Chaf Aleph. So it's from we're not sure exactly from. It seems like either from the Baditchever or from a student of the Baditchever. So we'll read the Torah the way it's written in Likutei Amarim in Magid Devarav. And the idea of this Torah, this teaching, is to explain how through words we transform ourselves on a much more powerful way, in a way than through actions. So there's a Gemara. The Gemara is in Sanhedrin, and the Gemara says that there's a pasuk that says, "Adam lama yivalad," man was created to toil. This is what it says in Iyov, the book of Iyov. So the pasuk says, "Adam lama yivalad," man was created to toil. So the Gemara in Sanhedrin tells us, "Eini yadeya im la'amal Torah." Or what does it mean to toil? Does it mean to toil with work, malacha? Or does it mean to toil with sicha, with words? Or the final conclusion of the Gemara is that it means to toil with the words of Torah, with sacred words, holy words. That man was created to toil, to learn Torah. Sit and learn Torah and speak sacred words, holy words, words of meaning and purpose, like the Rambam describes that there are various different levels of words. Speak the higher levels of words. So to explain this idea of the power of words. So the first paragraph, he speaks about, the Magid brings down an idea that speaks about when a tzaddik is somewhere present somewhere, when they leave, they have an effect. It says, Vayetze Yaakov in Beersheva, that when Yaakov leaves Beersheva, Vayetze, that Pana Hada, Pana Ziva, that there's a roshim, that the tzaddik leaves a roshim in the place, an imprint of something. So the explanation, the way the Ari explains it, is that after the Shviras HaKelim, after the breaking of the vessels, which is a very complicated issue, but an idea that's connected to the world of chaos, the world of toil, a deeper world that comes before the world of Tikkun, before the world of perfection, before our world, before the world of maturity, which is through Moich, which is intelligence. There was a breaking of the vessels, and these shards of the vessels broke and fell into this world. This is a metaphysical idea. So the Arizal says that there was also, besides the vessels themselves, since the light, the oil existed within this light, so therefore the light remains attached to these vessels. There's an imprint of the light within the vessel. This is similar to the idea of thinking about this also after 120, when the soul leaves the body. Even though the soul is nostalgic, leaves the body, but since the soul remained within the body for 120 years, for a longer period of time, it leaves an imprint on the body, and through that imprint of the body, which is a kiss to the chiyus, a little imprint of the body, even the body, when it decomposes, there's a part of the body that still remains intact, and still remains eternal, which is connected to the lisbon, and that's through which is the portal through which the neshama, the soul, has access to this world, and we, the living, have access to the souls above. But let's continue with the second paragraph. Hina Yudua. So again, the Magid is going to explain the tremendous value of speech, the quality of speech, and through speaking, the power of its transformation on us. So he starts like this: Hina Yudua shebechol davar yesh Chomer tzura toil etachlis. Everything in this world, everything that's created, has four dimensions. This idea is mentioned. This distinction of four ideas is mentioned already by the earlier Chokrim, the earlier philosophers. The Maharal speaks about it famously in the Drush in his speech that he spoke before Erev Pesach, Drush of Erev Pesach. The Gross speaks about this a lot in Mishlei. That everything in this world has a toil. Toil means someone that's the creator of it. And then there's the Chomer, the substance of something that's created. Then there's the Tzura, is the form that's created. And then the Tachlis is the end result of why it was created. So he gives an example. L'mashal, Shir Hashirim the book of Shir Hashirim, the Song of Songs, toil, who is the toil, who is the active one? These four, this schematic idea of these four, obviously also corresponds to the four inner worlds that the Mukabbalah speak about, that the Kabbalah speak about, which is Atzilus, Bria, Yitzir, Asiya. So there is the toil, which is the world of Atzilus, the active one, the creator, which is the creator, the creator's light. And then there's a process of the creation of the Chomer, the substance of reality, which is the world of Bria. Then there's the world of Yitzir, which is the form, and then the Tachlis is the way it's realized in its ultimate form, which is the Olam Asiyah, the physical world. So he gives an example that there's, let's say, the book of Shir Hashirim, the book of the Song of Songs, the Poel Hu Shlomo HaMelech. Shlomo HaMelech was the composer of this song, the composer of this book. HaTachlis Hu HaSefer Kula B'chlal. The Tachlis is the book, the way it's composed, its completion. The Chomer, the substance of the book is its letters. V'hatzura hu tmunas oisis. And the tzura, the form, is the way the letters are formed, and the formation of letters in order to create words. So if you have the raw substance of every book, let's say you're the author, so you're the poil, you're writing a book for a certain intention, which is the tachlis, the end. What you do is you take letters, which is chomer, which is substance, A, B, C, or Allah, Beis, Gimel. You string them together to create sentences, to create words, and then create sentences and paragraphs, etc. So that is the tzura, that is the form. And sometimes the Magid said the similar idea that maybe Hashem is the poil, and the tachlis is the purpose of it, etc. Shetachlis b'riyas Adam, the ultimate intention of the creation of man, that a man should return the world to its original form, to create a tikkun, to create a perfection to this world. The way to return the world, the creation of the world is ex nihilo, a something that emerges out of the nothingness, of the emptiness, of the divine nothingness. And the purpose of man, which is also brought down in Chesed Avram HaMalach, the son of the Magid, brings the same idea, that the creation was a something that emerges out of the nothingness, and the intention of man, the intention of the creation is, the tachlis of the Bria is that we should take the created world and connect it to its source. And the way we connect the world to the source, in the language in the way it's language here, is we return, if the world is created yesh ma'ayin, something from a nothingness, we have to return to something back into the nothingness, into the divine nothingness. That's only the way a person could perfect this world and transform the world to make it into a spiritual world, into a place of a dir b'tachtoim, into Hashem's presence could dwell in this world. A person has to not only transform the world, but he has to transform himself. He has to be, or she has to be himself on a level of ayin, which is ma. Ma means what? And through ma, which is the Adam is gemarked from ayin, the Adam is 45 like ayin, like ma, mitakin kol hashviras. Through the person, through person using his seichel, through a person using his mind, a person can create a tikkun, a rectification. Going back to the beginning of this teaching, that there was the shviras hakelim, the breaking of the vessels. Shvira, the possibility of something that's broken, is only something that has yesh. In the world of toil, of ego, in the world of toil, of chaos, the structure is that it's nikudim. They're each individual sphere is nikudim. Each one is an individual point. The best image to this idea would be that it's sort of when a child comes to this recognition, that realizes that they're a separate being from their parents, and they realize that they're nikuda and the parents are nikuda. Each one is separate from each other. And then the child, for children, this is actually healthy and adaptive for their own development, they become very much ego-based. And it's all about mine, and give me, and it's my toy, it's my thing, and I want to hold on to it. And when a person, or when reality exists within the level of yesh, of form and existence, of expansion, there's the possibility of shvir, there's a possibility of brokenness. You can only break something that has substance, that it has an existence. when a person becomes when a person is humble, with a true level of humility, when a person is truly humble, and they're living on the level of ayin as nothing, not needing anything, maybe wanting things, but not needing, and they're ayin, they live with a place of humility, then there's no possibility for shvir, there's no possibility for brokenness, because in the nakuda, in a point that's beyond expansion, there's no possibility for shvir, for broken. So this is the tension. The intention is that a person should transform himself or herself, and through that transform the world. And that's the Adam is b'takim madregas ma. Now here's the crux of this teaching. Hinei shanach royim shahaguf shelo Adam ein la'aliyah v'oim b'mkoime kasher betchila. Chomer is eine Chomer nicht Chomer die Sachen wie so toil schlehem wo macht es wenn man bei so neues ist eine tachlis zura Meile sagt wo macht es beim bei so Messias eine tachlis zura which translated this means as follows: when a person does an action, a positive action, or lives their life based on Torah mitzvahs, a person lives a higher way of being in this world, a deeper way of being in this world. So where's the transformation? We said that everything in this world has a toil. Toil means the creator of this thing. And then there's the chomer, the substance. And then there's the Torah, the form. And then the tachlis, what it's realized for. So let's say to take the body, the physical body. And let's say a person puts on tefillin or light Shabbos candles. So you're doing an action. And in the action, you're not changing the actual... Apparently, you're not changing on a revealed level the actual substance of your hand that's putting on tefillin or lighting the Shabbos candles. The substance of the hand, the chomer of your hand, is the exact same chomer like any other hand. Or else you become more covenant because yad mischalek stuck, and that's a higher madreg. That's your hand literally becomes menaf shekar. There's this idea that the hand becomes a direct expression of divine will. But for most people, and most times, the hand still remains a hand, and you're choosing to do something positive to your hand. So now you're choosing to give out charity with your hand instead of using your hand, God forbid, to do something the opposite of it, maybe to hit somebody. What you're doing is you're transforming the hand. Now it's giving out charity, or now it's putting on tefillin, or now it's lighting Shabbos candles. So you're not changing the chomer of the hand, the substance of the hand. You're only changing the tzur of the hand, the form of the hand. And now it's revealed that the tachlis of why the hand was created, the ultimate intention why the hand was created, is so it should do positive things. So what you're revealing in the hand that's doing the positive mitzvah is you're transforming it on the level of tzura, the form of it, because the form changed. You say, okay, this is a hand. They're both physical hands. They both function as physical hands. They both have vein and arteries and the way the function of the hand functions. And it's exactly the same by two different people, no matter if the person's the biggest tzaddik or the biggest rasha. If the person's the highest level or the lowest level living, the hand is the exact same hand. But you'll say the tzura of the hand, the form of the hand, where the tachlis is revealed, where the end result of why this hand was created for the person that's giving out charity, you see that this hand was created for its tachlis. But the chomer, the substance of the self, is not transformed. Again, the guf itself, the physical form itself, the physical substance itself, the chomer is not transformed. Only the tzur, the form of the hand, and the tachlis is revealed in the hand. And then, but then a person speaks about the mitzvah or makes a blessing about the mitzvah or blessing for the mitzvah. Then they elevate that action to the world of speech. Then there's an internal, in the inner part of the world, there's an elevation. The words that a person speaks of Torah or davening or prayer or the birchas hamitzvahs, the brach of the mitzvah, and the dibur is the internal world, the inner world. Then there's an internal elevation of your speech to the divine speech, which is the speech that created the world. You're talking about Hashem being basic goyal. Hashem is all ba'atzmai v'lo nitn adam la'alasaisum. What is he saying is like this. This is a very profound idea. That there's our external reality and our internal reality. So our external reality is our actions, and that's reflected in our body. Then there's the more internal reality. The internal reality is our thoughts, or the words, which is more subtle, it's more inward, it's more a pneumistic reality. The way the world emerges into existence, we said, that the world emerges to existence from yesh ma'ayin, something that emerges out of nothingness. But what is the animating force that gives life its existence? That's B'dvar Hashem Shamayim Nasu, the divine words that create. That when it says Basar Amaris Nivalim, the world was created through the 10 Amaris, the 10 utterances. So La'olam Hashem Dvarcha Nitzbas Shamayim, that the words of Hashem that said, Yehi Ar, let there be light, let there be man, let there be a plant, and the billions and trillions of different variations of these sound formations, which gives rise to all of creation. This thing is continuously animating creation. So the creation on the physical world, on the physical level, is physical objects. But on a metaphysical level, the reason and the source and the life force that's giving these particular things, the trillions of things of this world, the multiple things of this universe, and every single specific thing has its own particular vibration, is a spiritual vibration, a divine sound, a divine vibration, a divine utterance that gives this particular thing its life force. So there's the external part of creation, where we just see the observable world as empirically you see the tables and chairs and space and time and consciousness. You're just seeing what you're seeing. And then there's the inner vibrations that exist within this world, which you need much more subtlety and inwardness to recognize, which that itself is really the source of all creation. That's the meta root of everything that exists within this world. So the same thing that exists within the outside of ourselves, the same thing is also true within our inner self. There is the physical self, which is our body. That's the physical part of ourself. And then there's an interior part of ourself, the inner part of our reality. So when a person speaks, when a person does an action, they're relating to the world through the world of action. And we said that in action, you can't change the substance, you can change the form and the tachlis. It can reveal its purpose. Because everything has a toil of Chomer Tzorah Tachlis, and when the person does an action, you're not changing the substance itself, because you are substance. You can't change yourself. You can't transform yourself. So when it says that the Tachlis of the person is, the ultimate idea of the person is, the world was created ex nihilo, for something from nothing. Yesh ma'ayin. And we have to create from ayin, from the yesh back into the ayin. We have to take the yesh, the existence of form, and return it back into its nothingness, into its emptiness, into its divine self, to reveal the world as it's divine, as it's connected to the divine life force. We can only change the tzura, the form of creation. But inwardly, in our interior level, we can also not only change our chomer, our tzura, our form, we can also change our chomer. Why? Because when we connect with sacred words, and we're saying words of Torah, or we're saying words of tefillah, of davening, or we're saying a bracha, we're saying, that Arizal talks about it as the makifim that idea of saying a bracha before we actually do the action. We're connecting to the world of speech. Our speech is connected to the world of speech, to the olam hadibur, which the olam hadibur, when we are in a disconnected form or a misaligned form, then our speech, just like there is the idea of shvir sakel, the breaking of the vessels. The Baal Shem Tov and the Magid and our Emma speaks about that, and it's quoted in the name of the Magid, that there's also the idea of shvir zoisius, the brokenness of sound, which is, if I take my potential of speech and instead of contextualizing reality in a correct way, in a holy way, in a perfect way, and seeing the things the way they are and expressing exactly what they are, and expressing in its correct form, I'm doing, which is the tziruf, the formation of my own letters in a holy way, in a correct way, then what I'm doing is I'm connecting to that divine life force, which is the Dvar Hashem, the words of Hashem that gives life to this world, and my words are now connected to that life force. Or I could take that, and through the shvir, through the breaking of these sounds, I can create broken sounds, which I can speak, God forbid, I can speak Lashon Hara, I can speak negative words, or I can speak Dvarim B'Teilim, empty words. But the root of the letters, the root of the sounds, the inner roots of the sound comes from the sound, which is the Dvar Hashem Shamayim Nasa, which is the world that's created through these divine sounds. So when a person davens, a person connects through Torah, or Tefillah, or Bracha, through learning Torah, or davening, praying, or saying a Bracha, when a person connects their own speech with the divine world of speech, then they start resonating and they are connected to the divine place of speech, and now they're in the metaphysical root of creation. So not only are they connected with the meta root of creation, but now they can recreate reality in a way that they're not only changing the tzura, the form of their reality, but they can also transform the chomer of their reality, the substance of their reality. When you say that a tzaddik goes or a Kadosh Baruch Hu mekayim, then when a tzaddik, blesses somebody, gives a bracha to somebody, a Kadosh Baruch Hu fulfills this blessing. Or for that matter, any time a person davens with kavanah. Then in the teachings of the Baal Shem, in the teachings of Chassidus, the idea is when a person prays with kavanah, a person prays with intention, they're connected to the root, the source of life, to the or, which is the level of atzilus. And then when they're speaking these words, they're connected to the toil, to the root cause, the creator, the giver. And when they connect themselves with that and then they use their words, they start projecting new reality, because the world is created through speech, and then the physicality is the end result of the speech. So if you connect deeply with dvekas to the world of speech, and connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world of speech, through Torah, through using sacred words, you're connecting to the life stream of life. You're not only connecting in an action, when you're doing a physical action, you're connected to the effects of that divine speech. The effects of that is that there's a candle, or there's animal hide, or there's some other object, and you're taking that object and you're sanctifying it and creating a mitzvah out of this object. And it's tashmishish mitzvah, and it becomes an object of a mitzvah, correct? And you're not allowed to throw it out, etc., etc. But that's only but not in the object itself. The object itself, in its surah, changes, in its form it changes, but not the object in itself. It becomes now a holy object, not in the chomer itself, in the substance itself, because the substance is the exact same substance as any other thing, but in the way we relate to it, in the forms of its surah, in its form, it's a completely transformed object. But in tefillah and in Torah, when a person learns Torah and davens, when they're connecting to the inner world, to the divine life force that gives rise to the physicality, then when they project things, they can actually create new realities. When you say Rafa'inu Hashem, when a person davens and says, heal me, Hashem, or bring down blessings for sustenance, or bring down blessings for healing, whatever a person is praying for, what you're doing is you're connecting to the life stream itself, which is dibur, which is speech, through your own speech, and then you can change not only the form, but the substance in itself. This is what the pasuk means. It goes back to the pasuk in Eov. This is what the pasuk means. This is what the verse means. Any day, the Chazal say, "Im ba'amal shemalacha." If the idea is the amal malacha means to toil in the world of action, could we transform the physicality itself, the chomer itself, the substance itself? And it says the therefore the Chazal say, the sages say, no, not on asiyah, not in the physicality. You can't toil in the physicality. You can toil in the physicality only to transform the form, not the substance, but only in the pnimius, and the dibur, kimala dibur shem pnimius, and that you can transform the chomer in itself, the actual substance. And this is what it says: that the lower waters are crying. These are words, empty words. So we said before that there's the brokenness of sound. The brokenness of sound is that people using words for dvar b'teim, let's say for just emptiness. That a person that hears words, remember speaking, in order for something to speak, in order for someone to say something, and actually to dialogue, to dibur, speech. Speech is inherently in the world of speech, there has to be both a speaker and a listener. You can't speak to yourself, or else you're your own listener. But the definition of speech is that there is a speaker and a listener. Again, you could be your own listener, but there has to be two. That's the definition of speech, is that it's a dialogue. So when you hear something, someone says something not holy, not necessarily lashon hara, someone says dvar b'telem, empty words. You're the recipient of that person's words. You should know that when you receive something, you're not just passive. You're not just receiving, you're just open and receiving the other person's words. It's not true. Because in order for words to actually form, it needs a recipient. And so by you receiving the other person's words, you have the ability to receive it in the way that you want to receive it. So the person says something, you hear it, it's right away reinterpreted in your mind. And therefore, the words that's spoken can be transformed in your own way of receiving it. Someone says something that's negative, but you hear it, and because your mind has a positive spin to everything, or a holy spin to everything, and immediately when you hear that thing, what you start hearing is something that's positive. You are actually transforming that other person's speech itself. And therefore, and therefore, when you elevate those things, what you hear, let's say a person is walking down the street and they hear someone saying something that's unpleasant, or even, God forbid, someone that's cursing or saying something that's negative, but you are a little bit a more elevated person. So the moment that you hear it, you don't even have to consciously do it. Your moment that you hear things, you're right away transforming it through the prism of your positive mindset or your holy mindset, and you're hearing it as something that's positive. Then you're elevating those empty words, those broken sounds of the universe. You're elevating to kedusha, you're elevating to the holy. But the Magid says this is something that you shouldn't do. You shouldn't do this as a practice. Just go around and sit around a moishav leitzim, and sit around other people that are speaking silliness or empty words and say, I'm going to elevate it. Therefore, these words that a person speaks, these negative words that are being heard, the person said, let me go and enter these conversations. And then I'm a holy person or an elevated person, and I'll listen to them and transform them continuously. Because you're not allowed to hear empty words. So even though you want to elevate them, he says, don't worry about the sparks of divinity that exist within those empty words. You'll say, I should get involved with these conversations. He says, no, that's already emptied, and it's hefker, and it's not for you to elevate. So therefore, that's what Chazal say, if the purpose is I should be engaged and toil with the world of Sikha, maybe I should just involve myself in hearing all the words of the universe and to elevate them. That's what Chazal say. No, that when it says Adam Lama Yaval, a person is created to toil, it means to created to toil with learning of Torah and speaking the words of tefillah and of bracha. That's the teaching. And to unpack this, just to make this a little more simplified, because it's a very dense teaching. To make it more simplified, and just to reiterate, the idea is as follows: that what the Magid is saying is, the Magid is teaching us a very important concept of the power of speech. That the power of speech has the ability, if we speak holy words, and we speak when we speak with subtlety and without raising our voices, screaming, and just speaking like a mensch. Certainly, if we speak dvarim shel kedusha, holy words, words of Torah, words of purpose, words of meaning, words of prayer, words of blessing. If you use the power of speech, the Magid is saying it has the ability to transform us even deeper than through actions. Now, actions has its own value, and maybe we have to learn another teaching of the Magid that's connected to the world of action. why action has a value. But here he's talking about the value of the interior part of life, the inner part of life. That sometimes people get so involved about doing things, and they're not careful about how they speak about things. And he says that sometimes when you do things, and even you're doing very good things and very holy things, the transformation that's occurring also within yourself, and the transformation that's occurring within the objects you're engaged with, and the world that you're engaged with, is only a transformation that can happen on the level of the form, the tzura. And since the tachlis, the reason the person was created is to transform the entire world, to make it a place where it's not only transformed, but it's really to reveal what the world is really. That the world is a yesh that comes from an ayin. There's an existence that seems as a separate existence comes from the divine ayin, and the tachlis of the person is to take the yesh of the world, to undo the creation story, as it were, to undo the world and say that the yesh is actually really ayin, to take the yesh and return it back into the ayin, to show that the yesh of existence is essentially the divine life force of the ayin. So he says, if that's the tachlis, if that's the intention, if that's the ultimate intention, by speaking and by connecting to the divine world of speech, because every speech that we have, like the Baal Shem Tov says this many times a person speaking, we're connected to the olam hadibur, the general world of speech. So by speaking and using our speech in a correct way, we start vibrating, start resonating, we enter into the divine frequency, which is the meta root of all creation. So when our words are holy and our words are meaning, our words speak with purpose, we're entering into the meta root of creation, which is the vibrational space through which all of creation emerges, all the physicality emerges. And therefore we have the ability to transform ourselves not only on a physical level, on the level of tzura, of our form is changed, that now one person is expressed his form this way, and our form are expressed this way, and the tachlis of the bria and the purpose of intention of creation is revealed in one person, the other person, but our entire being starts being transformed. Our chomer itself, the substance of who we are, can be transformed through the words that we create, through the words that we use, and that's the ultimate idea of really being careful and being mindful of the words we speak.